Well, good morning and welcome to another Costa Women Zoom. I still can't quite get used to saying that instead of Hangouts, but I'm sure once I get to the 101 like I did last time, I will get there. Now, my special guest today is Melissa, and she is all the way up north. Good morning, Melissa. Tell us a little bit about where you are.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today. I'm up in the north. I'm on the Cantabric Sea in Spain. It's kind of a lesser known area, I think, for expats. It's definitely kind of out of the way if you're trying to escape the heat, and it's a great place to visit. There's beautiful beaches and coastline, so I try to encourage people to come up this way, but if they want, sun, most of the time you can't really count on that here, but it's a nice place to live.
Well, we're baking down here in the south at the moment, but that's fine. So
Yeah.
you're a member of Costa Women because obviously this is for Costa Women. So when did you first come across Costa Women?
I think it's been at least a year and a half ago, if not two. Time flies so much for me these days. But I felt that I needed to reach out to some other fellow expats, and up here in Asturias, it's just completely, you feel isolated because, again, a lot of the expats don't want to come and live in this area. And it's not that there aren't any. I work with some other people that are, from England and from other countries, Romania, Czech Republic. But as far as networking goes and trying to get with like-minded people that have kind of similar ideas to yours and are interested in the same things, I basically just felt kind of like I was out here flapping in the breeze.
Okay.
So
You
I found
found
Costa
us.
Women.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I was amazed by how big of a community is, how active, and how much you can simply do in that community. So I was really impressed when I joined up.
So tell us a little bit about Melissa, and what I'm going to do in a moment, still not very good at all the buttons and whistles on this Zoom malarkey, is I'm going to try and share the screen of your website. So while you're talking about what you do, we can also have a look at, actually see the screen as well. So what's the name of your website?
Well, the name of it is perfectionintervention.com.
Right.
Perfectionintervention.com.
Intervention. Right. So tell us, what's that about?
So I'm a coach, and I usually deal with wealth blocks, if you want to call them that, wealth coaching. So I'm developing this program for people who are what you would call perfectionists. I call it a vow to be perfect. So what happens is when you're this super high achieving perfectionist type, which there are a lot of us like that, not everybody, but a lot of us like that are really driven, achievement oriented, lots of brilliance, lots of skills, maybe even lots of qualifications. And we're out there doing things and putting our contribution out there, but we don't seem to be really arriving to a place where we feel like I can say I've arrived. So
Right. Can you see your screen now, or is it my face? Because my computer feels like it's having an intervention moment, and it doesn't like it.
I see on my screen, I see you and me.
Oh no, something has happened. Right, because actually
there you
we're
go.
completely black for me. Can you see the screen?
I see it now, yeah.
So I'm hoping that everybody else does then, because I'd actually thought I'd had completely switched off then. So I apologise for that.
Don't worry.
It says here, here we go. A running program isn't compatible with certain visual elements of Windows. Click here for more information. So I think what I might do is I might just switch off the stop share for now.
Okay.
And then people can have a look at the link themselves, so that I don't actually crash the whole Zoom altogether. So let me press that and go back to explaining what you were saying then. So it's for people that so you're getting so far, but you just never seem to make any more money, and it's something that is psychologically blocking you from doing that, and you can help us figure out what that is. Am I right?
Exactly. So it's kind of it's the inside stuff that I believe people don't really look at, because we're not trained that way. We're trained, go out, do. And it's not that there's anything wrong with doing. I mean, obviously you have to doing is part of it, but have you ever felt, for example, when you know what you should do, but you can't actually make yourself do it? There's something there that's like, you procrastinate. Procrastination is a big one for achievers. And it really kind of disappoints me. I want to help people because they are the ones that have the brilliance and the skills and the talents and the qualifications, and they're awesome at what they do. And they have all this stuff brewing in them, but they're very reluctant to do the things it takes to put that out there. And so what I'm doing is dealing with that part of it first, so that you can go and conquer and do what you're meant to do.
And how do you do that? It's an online program, is it?
Yeah, it's an online, it's not extensive. It's a mini course, actually. So I wanted to make it accessible for people, as like price wise as well as time wise, that are kind of hearing themselves in that description and saying, yeah, kind of sounds like me, and they can benefit from it, and they don't have to put aside a lot of time to study or read or anything like that. It's just, I'm going to be offering 4 online live teleclasses, and they can tune into that. And if they don't, they can get the recordings and just work through some processes that I take people through. And I'm also a tapper, and I use tapping, which is a great mind-body technique to help kind of clear stuff. So that's what it is. It's a mini course, nothing over the top, and to dive in and see what happens.
Okay, well, we'll pop the link there underneath. What does the summer hold for you now up there in Asturias? What will you be doing?
Well, that's a good question. Well, first of all, I'm going to concentrate on giving the best I can in these classes that I have coming up here. It should start in July. And then I also have some other projects on the back burner that I've got to dive into as well, because once you start with one idea, then you've got the next one and the next one.
So floodgates, doesn't it? Now, just tell me a little bit about where you come from, Melissa, because although you describe yourself as an expat, as we all are, you're not from the UK, I'm guessing, from that accent.
No.
So where did you arrive from?
Well, I have been living here in Asturias, in a town called Gijón, which is actually the biggest town in Asturias, and I'm from Montana, if anybody knows where that is. It's towards the north. It's the northwest of the U.S.
You seem to make a habit of being in the north of a country.
Yeah. I guess I must gravitate to the north. So yeah, northwest area of the U.S. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long have you been over here? Did you say?
14. I think it's 14. It's about 14 years.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
14. So, and what's the best part of Spain for you? About living here?
Oof, yeah, it's so different than my culture. And the thing I appreciate, I think, the most is Spanish people are so alegría. They're so, everything's just no big deal, everything's so lighthearted, and everybody's, take vacation, take time off. And being an American, that's something that we have to learn more to do, because we're just on this the driven personality of work, only work matters. And here you get both, but I feel like they try to live a little bit, and they try to enjoy. And so
if you were, talking to a potential Costa woman who's just about to take her first footsteps into being, part of our network, and also like moving to Spain, would you have any top tips or how to deal with arriving in Spain?
Well, the first thing I would say, at least from my perspective, now I'm also a linguist, so I've given plenty of English classes in this, and I would say try to learn the language as quickly as you can, and just get out there and talk to people, because I've been here both before I knew the language, before I spoke Spanish, and it was fine. I enjoyed it, but I realized that you can't really get to know a culture if you don't speak the language. And also a big thing is, don't be afraid to make mistakes with that, because people are really appreciative when they see that you're making the effort to speak their language. You're going to make plenty of mistakes, especially if you're learning. So just try to break through that barrier, the language barrier, and reach out and and
Yeah,
go
so
out and
I
learn.
would summarize your philosophy similar to something I try to do myself, which is in both cases of what you're saying with the intervention is like progress is better than perfection. So just you've got to keep moving, have a go at the languages, try and remove your money blocks and things like that. So, and what is it that keeps you going? What keeps Melissa going? And how do you stop your blockages and things like that?
Well, I try to practice what I preach, which isn't always easy, of course, and we're all a work in progress. So keeping that in mind and having really, for me, the big issue has been having self-compassion and just bringing that in. And that's really why I was so motivated to do this little mini program, because the achiever type of people and they're on push energy a lot, and they forget to have, the inner critic is really strong, and they forget to have that compassion to say, hey, I need to have some me time or some self-care, and not always just be lashing myself like, I gotta move, I gotta go, it's like you get into a habit and you forget to do that. And so that's what I'm kind of focused on.
I'm very guilty of that.
Yes, it's just so, and then you forget to celebrate, you forget to enjoy, and then you go, where's the goods? Why don't I feel better? Why don't I feel happy? Why don't I feel like I've achieved something? Because you're not even celebrating. It's like, well, I'm not there yet, so I can't, I can't celebrate. I'm not there yet.
Oh, dear me, so you are making a few light bulbs go off.
Yeah, I know this personality type. I'm not there yet. So I cannot celebrate the baby steps, and I'm guilty. I'm just as guilty. So that's why I wanted to I was just excited to do that, because I thought this is what I need to do. This is
all right. So we'll pop the link. It's called perfectionintervention.com.
Right.
And then we've got a join link, haven't we, as well, that we can we can sign up to it and everything.
Right.
And so when does that start? I didn't look at the link.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm officially launching it on the 30th. So it's in another week. And then I'm planning on scheduling the classes for the first or the second week of July. I'm not quite sure. I think I'm going to skip it to the second week. So it'd be around July 12th would be the first class.
Okay.
But the official launching is next Friday. So
cool. All right.
I have the page up, but it's up and it's ready.
Facebook as well. So if we put the link to all your social media channels as well, so people can just look at you from all directions, and that would be great. Well, thank you so much for giving up some of your time today. I'm sure people will find this quite enlightening, and I'm sure there'll be lots of people going, "Yep, that's me." That's me.
Well, yeah, and I know it too. But I'm really actually more appreciative that you had me for a few minutes to talk about it. So thank you.
That's cool. All right, listen, thank you very much. Look forward to speaking to you again soon.
All right, thank you, Fiona.
Bye-bye.
Bye.